a big day in our household today. It is August 5th, 2019, and I just got done with a full day of getting ready for the new school year. But Matthew and I have done a lot of praying lately, and we have decided to change the direction that we are going to pursue adoption. Over the last year and a half to 2 years almost, we have been pursuing domestic infant adoption, and we are coming up on our year contract here in the next few months with our adoption agency. And something that has been weighing on both of our hearts is the desire to foster to adopt. There are so many kids in our country that, you know, they need loving families to love them and support them, and that is what we are looking into pursuing. Today we have a caseworker, or I don't know, they called her a supervisor, coming out to our house for our first visit, just to kind of go over the process, ask any questions that we have. And so she should be here about 20 minutes. Matt is on his way home, and so we'll kind of see how this goes. So that is done. We met with our supervisor for the first time tonight. I think it went well. We are able to kind of discuss next steps in the whole entire process. She came, she looked at the house, just kind of did a quick walkthrough. Nothing major. We start the first of our training on Wednesday. It'll start this Wednesday, and we'll run for 8 or 9 weeks. It'll run through the very beginning of October. And so between that time period, she'll come out and she'll visit the house a couple of times.
Maybe. I mean, we had the other home study, so she thought, you know, maybe it might only take one, depending on what the other home study, what information the other home study gives her and whatnot. So that could be, you know, a small benefit. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. So we just have to fax her our other home study from like the domestic infant adoption home study that we already had done, and she's going to try and use as much of that as she can, and so hopefully that'll kind of make that part of the process go a little easier and quicker. But other than that, we're stuck in classes for the next 8 weeks here, so.
I mean, you say stuck, but it's one night a week.
It's one night a week. It's Wednesday nights for 3 hours, so.
Right. So, I mean, yeah. Well, just interrupts the workouts. I mean, that's all it does. Which no
big deal.
We can do a home workout or something, but.
Yeah. So, other than that, it was pretty standard.
Yeah, pretty much what we expected it to be.
Everything's pretty similar to our other home study that we had done. So this isn't the new part. I know we'll learn a lot of stuff in our classes that we take. We have already done some classes, and some of our classes pertain to foster care before, but I think this will give us a new perspective on everything. So. Yeah,
I think the best part about this is just that we're somewhat familiar with it. Maybe I mean it's not exactly the same, but we're somewhat familiar, you know, with the home study process and stuff like that. So we know more of what to expect, I guess, going into it and whatnot. So that's a benefit to it, but it's still going to be a process, and you know it's not. None of this has been an easy process by any means, and you know, I don't think this one will be an easy process either. I mean, it's just I'm not saying it's a hard process. Tedious might be the best word to.
It's just a lot of tasks to check off.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a hard process. It's just there's a lot to it.
You gotta cross all your T's and dot all your I's.
And patience. I mean, I've been taught patience is a virtue of my entire life. You know, and. It's very true whenever it comes to adopting and getting licensed for adopting. Stop it. So.
Yeah. I feel a little more laid back this time. Our other home study that we did, I know I was just like,
yeah,
get it done. Not that I don't want to get it done this time, because I know I'm going
That's
to.
Your mentality, though.
Once she gives me the paperwork, next time she comes, I know I'll fly through it again. But
yeah, no, you will.
But I'm not like, when she comes for the final walkthrough, like, the first home study we did, I was like, oh my gosh, everything has to be dusted, it has to be mopped, it has to be perfect. And I know, like, they're not looking for the entire house to be perfect. And
right, she even walked through tonight and she liked everything. So.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I think before we had a lot more anxiety going into it, and and maybe it's a sign that maybe we're moving in the right direction now that we're more at peace, and it's not.
I feel like the last time when we were going the other route, it was a lot of anxiousness and anxiety.
A lot of stress involved, I think, and I don't feel that same way anymore. I think. It just knowing how stuff works and
our supervisor that came today, she was very helpful. She's nice, so
yep.
She'll be with
we're
us
excited about it.
Weeks.
As excited as you can be as you go through
you try not to get too
8-week
excited.
process. So everyone always asks us, what's the timeline, and unfortunately we don't.
There's no set, because we can go through all the classes and everything, but that doesn't mean the last class that we take, like, we're done. Like, it takes our supervisor, caseworker, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
she is technically Tyler.
And then we have to accept whatever type of adoption or foster we try and do, or whatever it is. We have to accept that kind of thing, and it's just.
And we still, over the next 8 weeks, we really have to focus in on what direction we want to go, whether, it's fostering to adopt, it's foster. I mean, I think adoption is always in the picture, but.
And I think that class will help with that as well. Yeah,
I think we'll get
as we kind of go
more
through
perspective.
To know what we're capable of handling. And, this is. The fostering thing was always something that you and I had talked about before. We didn't think it would necessarily be, like you said earlier, how we start our family, but, there's nothing wrong with it.
There's kids out there that need...
And that's the thing with Ash and I, and if anybody really knows Ash and I, we have all the love in the world, and that, nothing scares us whenever it comes to this kind of process about it. I mean, there's things, that obviously you have to be on the lookout for, but, I mean, I think a lot of people have a hard time imagining themselves adopting.
I think a lot of people go into it scared. Like, how could you love a child and fear that it's going to be reunified with its birth family? And in reality, that's the purpose of foster care, is reunification.
Right. I mean, and you have to go in and give as much love as you possibly can, and
they're kids, like, they deserve love.
They do, and think about it. What if something happened to you and your kids went into foster care? Or are you going to want someone to just give a 50% effort because they're afraid of losing out on your kid or whatever it is, or you want that family that they go to give 100% love to them as much as they can, no matter what, or if you came from that system, I mean, you want someone to care about you as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, it's not, none of it is the kid's choice. None of the kids has to be put where they are being put in the circumstances that they've been put in. And
I think sometimes it's hard for people to understand that. It's about putting other people's needs above your own. I think sometimes, and
it's not about having to be comfortable. Like
it's about
sometimes you have to step outside.
It's about touching someone else's life and hopefully giving them a sense of security and stability, and even if it's for a short time, helping them grow to be the person they can be, and
they shouldn't be limited by their circumstances, and
and always just knowing that you are around to help them. You know what I mean? And even if it's say the only relationship that they ever see that's a strong one. Hopefully they can base their future relationship on what they saw with us if they don't stay with us. Or you know what I mean? Just whatever it is. I mean, we hope to give those foundations and principles to someone so that people know, or the children as they grow up, they understand that there's right and wrong ways to do things.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can set them up for success with that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'd be happy to take a look at them and answer them as best as we can. We're fairly new into this process.
We don't know very much.
We don't. Yeah, we're learning. We'll answer them as we go, though. Okay, so just bear with us, I guess.
It's all new learning experience.
We'll try and keep you guys updated, but thanks for watching.